Jazz hands.
So continuing our series on Bob's Burgers, we're up to season 4 now, and this one starts off great with Archer.
Bob!
Oh my god. Are you guys okay?
We're but Bob!
Yeah, that was a screw up, but I mean, can you blame me? So of course, H. John Benjamin is both the voice of Bob and Archer. I think this really shows how voice acting really works. Phil LaMarr likes to tell this story about Mako, the original voice of Aku, playing as just like a merchant or I don't know, a restaurant owner. Phil was like, okay, is it going to turn out to be Aku later on in the story? And they said no, we're just giving this little role to Mako. And you could totally tell it was him, but at the same time, he put this weird he acted like a shop owner who was talking to a mysterious Samurai Jack. There was no inflection of evil or malice to his voice, and the performance came through. That's basically H. John's career in a nutshell. He has played the coach on home movies, where he's just sort of this older, aging guy who really has no filter around these small children. Then he plays Bob, who is a loving father, kind of bumbling, but not bumbling in the comedic way, more just in a normal sort of quiet, realistic bumbling father. And then of course you have Archer, who is just smarmy, arrogant, full of himself, and at times wears all his emotions on his sleeves.
He called me Archer. Maybe they think I'm somebody else.
Somebody who gambles?
When would I gamble, Linda? The 6 hours a night I get to sleep?
But anyway, I really love this opening. I think it's cool. It's nice to see the family in a realistic style. Notice that Louise is the only one that doesn't react in shock to seeing the dead bodies. In fact, she's kind of oh, cool. And it's actually weird that the kids don't talk because their voice actors show up later this season. I don't know. Maybe it's a scheduling issue or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, this is a fun start. Also sets up a mystery that basically is solved by the end of the episode. Overall, I think this might be the weakest of the earlier seasons. I definitely wasn't my favorite, and it's definitely not my favorite looking back. Don't get me wrong, there are some of the strongest moments in this, jokes and bits that I quote all the time.
Jazz hands.
But the story plots are a little convoluted. Some of the characters just are really nasty this season. I don't know if it's a coincidence that next season they just went off on this huge shift for the series, but I don't know. Maybe there's some fatigue setting in here. Also, I have here in my notes in a big circle, Spite Baby, which is something that's just kind of always bothered me. Lana gets the idea to take Archer's sperm and then have a baby. I still don't know if she was trying to get back at him or whatever, but number one, it's messed up to create a life just because you're kind of pissed off at someone.
The only way to make him as crazy as he makes you is to...
And then two, you have Cyril, who just acts like a total dickbag when he hears the news.
Scarlet letter, oh horror!
Cyril, it was a donor, you shithead.
Yeah, none of that sets well with me. But I will say that I really got into Ray.
Phrasing first, boo!
I think Ray really came into his own as a character this season. What with him being actually paralyzed from the last season's finale.
I'm just curious.
A bag. I piss and shit in a plastic bag.
Me too.
And then him going on to have, his cybernetic replacements. You feel bad for him as he's kind of trying to move on with his life. You see his accomplishments, and you see just how that would mess with him. He has come a very long way from just being a Family Guy style cutaway joke. And of course, yeah, that episode, the one where he has the operation, is like one of my favorites.
Hey, should I wash my hands?
Yeah, I didn't.
On the other hand, like Archer is like desperately trying to stop the operation, and that just feels like even a moment of like really stupid, even for his character. Like it doesn't come off like Archer has an irrational fear of robots, or rather an entirely justified fear of robots, you know, considering everything that's happened. It just feels more or less like he's just being a stupid jerk-ass about it.
The thermostat's becoming sentient. Oh god, that's how Maximum Overdrive started.
Also, you know, it turns out that only having some of your body be robotic isn't the fix-all that you might think it is.
Are you shitting me? Bionic legs and you lifted with your back?
And by the way, I am not handicapped, so, you know, please take my opinion with a grain of salt. I will say that I do enjoy the work of Oakworm, a YouTuber who reviews media from the perspective of, being differently abled, and I would be curious to hear what they say about Ray, because I know, so like Ray isn't back to square one, where he's like, oh, okay, I'm totally average now. He has to now worry about his legs giving out, or just messing up his regular body parts via the use of his legs.
Really? Old Ray gets a happy ending?
Ray.
Or does Randy Roughhouse over here zap him with a defibrillator and fry the CPU that made his bionic legs work?
Again, I would be curious to hear what they have to say about that, or any other like YouTuber who that's their bailiwick. But at least, you know, I'm directing you towards a good YouTuber. They did a great video recently about the Sea Beast.
Boop.
Ooh, let's talk about Rodney for a second, because he really represents, you know, in a very stealth way, one of the strengths that Archer has had over like the 10-year run.
He's the new whatever gun librarian.
Armory supervisor.
Hooray! What's with the cage?
Oh, well, some wacky new thing the kids are doing called inventory control.
Weave in and out these organic characters that pop in and then just can kind of bail out whenever it's appropriate for them to basically be gone. You know, like Mallory has set up this system where her agents need to check out equipment now. And of course, after this season, that's no longer necessary, so we don't see Rodney ever again.
A defibrillator. That's a made-up word.
They're all made up.
Mind blown.
It's really good. It feels organic, and then you don't have that Simpsons problem where the cast just balloons to this unimaginable proportions.
Skynet!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Not cool!
Rodney, you mind your own dicky beeswax!
Another great episode is when we find out that Ron, Mallory's new husband, she says is the most boring man alive.
She said that?
I mean,
He is hands down the most boringest man on this entire planet of Earth.
Turns out to be a former crime boss. But this is the moment where he feels the most like an actual character, and it's probably the pinnacle of his development. And the sad part is that he has really good chemistry with Archer in this episode.
Oh, half.
okay, that's still a baller move. Master P would totally be proud. Or he'd release a diss track.
What is it? Half the time, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, guess what? Me neither.
In the next couple seasons, he like drops off. I don't even think they bother adding him to the Coma seasons, which really shows you that like what Archer thinks of him. But again, like I really thought that maybe he could have been an interesting regular.
Don't take this the wrong way, babe, but you're not getting any younger.
You know what? So far, the season's been really, really good. I don't know why. Oh yeah. Episode 5 is another Koktyev episode. And all the momentum just evaporates when we have to go back to this weird relationship. Not triangle, not square, tesseract. This one is especially bad with Archer spending most of the episode splicing a message together for Barry. You know what? They didn't even follow through with making her like the big bad of the series. Although the whole Russian thing, again, is just as awkward as the whole ISIS thing now.
From the Shazam ISIS Hour TV show?
No,
Remember Shazam?
Episode 6 is an improvement. It's just kind of filler, with Archer being bit by a snake. And the venom induces all these flashbacks, which may or may not be narratively reliable. Like, what the hell time period is this even? I mean, it would be nice if this, like, explained Archer's complicated attitude towards women in danger, or if he could really remember who his dad was, but as far as I know, this doesn't lead to anything. I will look back at this with a finer comb if it comes up in, like, the last seasons that I haven't seen yet, but I mean, until then, Gerp Gork.
Gerp Gork. Oh.
How's it the same word for bread and snake and Friday and that damn dog?
How the hell should I know?
Episode 7 features Anthony Bourdain, bless his soul. He plays a shitbag, snooty celebrity chef that actually, like, really plays against his personality.
where the camera... Why is there a camera?
I assume because this restaurant can't hold 3 million viewers?
2.8.
Because it's not promoted properly.
So it's just a lot of fun, but I really don't have a lot to say about it. Episode 8, Lana knows jack all about the American medical or tax system. Lana is officially trash after this episode, and I find it no surprise that she decides to have a spite baby in the very next episode. Also, they said the satellite guy died in an earlier episode in the season, so...
Yeah, I don't actually know how any of this works.
But...
that was the fat guy you killed.
Like, are these just out of order?
She slapped you so hard you died.
No, I think I'm really dying.
However, Archer saving Lana is one of the most iconic moments in the series. Just really shows how good the show has gotten in terms of its just technical development. Like, I don't think they could actually pull something like this off in the first season.
Oh man, they gotta bump uglies now.
Wait, what?
Next is a dog episode, which is okay, and then you have the Pope episode, which other than like having some more really great Pam and Archer stuff,
Pam,
Yes?
get off the Pope.
is Woodhouse. Woodhouse is in there. Oh yeah, Woodhouse is a delight. So yeah.
How'd I get all the way downtown?
Not Little Italy, Italy!
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's a good penultimate episode for the season. And then you have the 2-part season finale, which is kind of like the space station thing. But again...
Okay, now one thing is going to...
It does set up that Cheryl's brother and his wife are trying to screw her out of her share of the inheritance. They are doing this because they are also crazy assholes. And you kind of feel bad for Cheryl at first, until you realize that none of these wackadoos should have that much money.
Take that, gazebo!
And now, I should probably tell you that this is where I thought, like, the Coma seasons were starting, because I hadn't watched at the
Just like that old gypsy woman said.
Is everything from this point on just a dream? In fact, in the next season they like hang a lantern on it too. So I don't know. I've got to watch the rest of the series. That's kind of why I'm doing this. Again, all the episodes, there are great individual moments in this season with jokes and running gags, but on a whole, like the last back half of the season, it picks up momentum, but I would just say it's kind of forgettable or even like infuriating with some of these characters doing such outrageously unlikable or stupid things, and not like in a good way. All the side characters really, really got me through this season. Are the reasons why I keep actually revisiting it.
Get in my big old vagina. I'm Lana.
Luckily, the showrunners managed to shake things up with the very next season, which I am looking forward to talking about.
Oh, and just so you know, I do know what true love is, so... Yeah.